All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, excited to be here.
So get this. Have you ever thought about the fact that, like, your body, produces electricity? Like enough to power a small light bulb?
I mean, in a way, yes, because
Yeah.
we're kind of like walking batteries, right?
It's crazy. Yeah, I was reading this article called We're Electric. Your body can power a light bulb. Almost.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to be diving into this whole world of bioelectricity.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, by the end of this, we should both understand, like, how this electricity powers our bodies
Absolutely.
and, like, what it could even do for us, down the line in the future.
Yeah, and it's more than just, powering a light bulb. It's really everything that we do.
Yeah.
Every thought, every movement, it all
Right.
comes down to these tiny little electrical currents.
Yeah, so how does it work? Is it like every single cell's like a little battery or what?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Wow.
So you know how batteries work through chemical reactions? It's
Okay.
the same thing in our cells. Really?
They have these chemical reactions that create a small electrical charge.
So it's like a tiny, tiny amount of electricity then, right?
Oh, yeah, each cell on its own, it's minuscule. Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even be able to measure it.
Right.
But the thing is, we have trillions of cells.
Okay. Yeah, so it all adds up.
Exactly. So when you add all of those tiny charges together,
Yeah.
it becomes something that's actually measurable.
So we're not exactly powering cities or anything, but
I don't know.
it's still pretty cool,
Right.
like to think about.
Yeah. It's what allows us to function.
Yeah.
Like you said, moving our fingers.
Right.
But also like our heartbeat,
Mm-hmm.
our breathing,
Wow.
the way our brains work.
So every time I take a step or I, feel my heartbeat, that's really bioelectricity, like doing its thing.
Exactly. It's like a network of electrical circuits
Wow.
running through our entire body.
Crazy. And scientists have actually been able to measure this and study it and stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, for decades.
Really?
There are like a ton of studies on this.
I was reading some stuff from the NCBI, the National Center for Biotechnology Information.
Yes.
They have a lot of research on this.
Mm.
And also the University of Chicago.
Oh,
We're doing some pretty amazing work
interesting.
looking at bioelectricity.
Huh.
So yeah, it's definitely a real thing.
It's not just like some kind of like, woo-woo science or something.
No, it's very real, very measurable.
Well, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I always kind of assumed it was a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much research was actually behind it.
Yeah, and it goes back a long way too.
Oh, really?
Like we're not the first ones to use bioelectricity. It's been around, since the beginning of life.
What do you mean?
Well, even single-celled organisms, they use bioelectricity to sense their environment, to react to things, even to move around.
Wow. So like even those like tiny little organisms are like using electricity.
Exactly. It's like a fundamental part of life.
Huh. That's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, it really makes you appreciate how everything is connected. Right. From the simplest organisms all the way up to humans.
So we've basically just like built on that same basic function over millions of years.
Right. We've evolved into these complex beings, but the underlying principle is still the same.
That's wild. I mean, when you think about it, our bodies are basically just like walking chemistry experiments.
In a way, yeah.
But it's not just chemistry, it's electricity too.
Right. It's like this interplay between chemistry and electricity.
Huh. And it drives everything we do.
Everything.
Man, it makes you wonder, like, what else is going on in there that we don't even know about?
Well, there's definitely a lot we still don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it so exciting.
But I mean, we're already doing some pretty incredible stuff with bioelectricity, right?
Oh, yeah. There's some amazing research happening right now.
Like what?
Well, for one thing, people are trying to figure out how to harness bioelectricity to power devices.
Oh, like those wearables and things?
Exactly.
I saw a report on Design Boom about that.
Yeah, so imagine your smartwatch being powered by your own body heat.
Wow, that would be awesome.
No more charging every day.
Right.
It would be pretty cool.
That's like straight out of science fiction.
I know, right? But it could become reality.
Crazy. And that's not all, right? There's that research about regrowing limbs and stuff.
Yeah, it's some really cutting-edge stuff.
With bioelectricity.
Right. The idea is that by manipulating the electrical signals in the body, we could potentially stimulate cell growth and regeneration.
So like people could like regrow limbs that they've lost.
That's the hope. It's still early stages, but the possibilities are incredible.
Wow. So like we could like heal injuries and even like grow new organs.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, it sounds crazy, but that's what they're working on.
Man, the future's going to be wild.
It really is.
But is there anything we should be worried about? Like when it comes to messing with bioelectricity?
Well, I think it's always important to be cautious with new technology.
Right.
We need to make sure we understand the potential risks before we start, doing things like regrowing limbs.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's something to keep in mind as this research progresses.
Well, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on it.
Me too. It's fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing to think that we're not just, flesh and bone.
Yeah.
We're basically electrical beings.
Walking, talking electrical circuits.
And all of that just from those tiny little charges in our cells.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is. It makes you appreciate how complex and amazing our bodies are.
Absolutely.
So if we already know that our bodies can generate electricity,
yeah,
what if we could, learn to control it, consciously?
That's a good question.
Or, enhance it somehow?
Who knows? Maybe that's the next frontier.
Maybe we'll all be like superheroes or something.
Maybe.
But for now, I guess we'll just have to keep exploring and see where this all leads.
Exactly. Stay curious.
All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in to another deep dive, and we'll catch you next time.